I am suspicious of my wife and my friend's behavior. I want to check her phone. AITA? My wife, 30F, and I, 32M, just returned from a long weekend camping trip with two other couples, friends we've known for years. We had a great time, but something happened the morning we left that I can't shake. We were all packing up, getting ready to head back home. I was loading our car, when I looked up and saw my wife and my friend. They were at the campsite, several feet away. She was bent over to pick something up, and in that split second, I saw him reach out and squeeze her hip, sliding his hand down to her butt. My wife quickly pushed his hand away, but she didn't look upset. She was smiling at him, almost playfully. It all happened so fast, maybe a second or two, but it felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. I glanced around, but no one else seemed to have seen it. His wife was busy packing up their car, and the other couple was further away, chatting about the ride back. The drive home was quiet. My wife tried making conversation, but I couldn't focus. My mind kept replaying that scene over and over. When she asked why I was so quiet, I lied and said I was just thinking about work. The truth is, I was in shock. I didn't want to bring it up. If I mentioned it, she might tell me I was imagining things, that I was being ridiculous. The rest of the day I felt like I was just moving on autopilot. I barely slept last night and can hardly focus at work today. My mind keeps racing, questioning every detail. Aside from what I saw, the rest of the trip was great and nothing seemed out of place. A part of me is wondering if read the whole situation wrong. But, the look on her face, that smile, it was too friendly, too casual for something that crossed a line like that. I love my wife to death. We've been together since freshman year of college, and I've never had reason to doubt her. She's my best friend. But now, for the first time, there's this knot in my gut that I can't untangle. I've never been the type to snoop. I've always trusted her completely. But right now, I'm sitting here, wondering if I should check her phone. It's password protected, so even if I wanted to, I don't know how I'd do it without her finding out. This is eating me up and I know I need to do something about it. WIPTA to go through her phone? And even if I wanted to, how can I if it is password protected? Edit. The post has gained a lot more traction than I expected and I am worried about being identified. My wife is not a Redditor, but I don't know if my friend or his wife are. I will bring back the original post after I confront her. I have consultations with several lawyers lined up. I will update after I settle on a lawyer and know what my options are. I originally posted this in the r/infidelity sub. Sharing a brief edited version of it here, to not risk being identified, for those who have been following. I've been keeping it together since I found out last week. But this morning, it finally hit me. What triggered it was something so insignificant, so stupid. I realized everything I was about to lose and that was it. That was my undoing. All the feelings I have been successfully keeping at bay came at me in full force. The sadness, the anger, the rage. And I just bawled for hours after she left. I am not okay. No, scratch that. I am pretty fucking depressed. And to top it off, I have to keep it together and maintain my act until she is served, when all I want to do is fucking scream. Update. How did you decide to stay with or leave your cheating spouse? Long story short, I found out last week that my wife of 4 years, we've been together for 12 years, has been cheating on me with my friend. Although the manner in which I found out was coincidental, I later discovered all the proof I needed to know that she is definitely cheating. I haven't confronted her about it yet. They are still very much in contact and sending each other messages, including explicit content. I am not angry. Yet. I am hurt, deeply, when I think about it. But for the most part one just feel numb. When my parents died a few years ago, I felt a similar way right after as I struggled to process my grief. So, I know the full force of my emotions will surface soon. In the meantime, I am following the advice to get my ducks in a row, finding a lawyer and making sure everything is in place before I confront her. My brain is thinking and planning ahead but my emotions haven't caught up yet. So, I want to take advantage of the time I have now to collect as much information as possible to make an informed decision. I know I sound methodical and maybe heartless, but right now it just feels like whatever feelings I should have knowing my wife has been, and still is, cheating on me is not there. And for now it is protecting me from the harsh reality of my situation. Before I begin feeling the full depth of her betrayal and becoming emotionally vulnerable, I want to ask from those who have been where I am now. How did you decide to stay with or leave your cheating partner? For reference, I am 32, she is 30 and we don't have kids. Update 2. It finally hit me and I am crushed. I've been keeping it together since I found out last week. But this morning, it finally hit me. What triggered it was something so insignificant, so stupid. I was sitting in my office at home, going through emails, and before she left for work, she brought me a mug of coffee, wished me a good day, and gave me a kiss. I realized everything I was about to lose and that was it. That was my undoing. All the feelings I have been successfully keeping at bay came at me in full force. The sadness, the anger, the rage. And I just bawled for hours after she left. I just thought about the life we built together over the last 12 years. I don't know if I'll ever get a satisfactory answer to explain how she could do this to me. I am still tracking her movements and their conversations through her iPad, which haven't stopped. They met up yesterday, initially planned to go to a motel, but she ended up going to his house when his wife had to make an urgent trip to visit her sick mother. They disgust me. I am so angry at her. At both of them. Not only do I have to contend with losing her, I am also losing a close friend. This man stood by me on our wedding day as he watched us exchange vows, and he stood next to me while I buried my parents. 12 years gone down the drain because both of them couldn't keep it in their pants. Please don't tell me I need to leave her. I will. I still have several consultations with different lawyers to go through in the coming days before I settle on the right one and begin the divorce process. I just needed to type this out to a bunch of strangers because this is unbelievably hard and I feel as though the weight of this burden is going to crush me. I lost my parents 2 years ago and now I am about to lose the only family I have left. I am not okay. No, scratch that. I am pretty fucking depressed. And to top it off, I have to keep it together and maintain my act until she is served, when all I want to do is fucking scream. Update 3. Found her iPad, it didn't have a password, so I got in and it is still connected to her phone. She has Telegram on it. They've been chatting on there. I am still going through the messages, but she is cheating. I am not falling apart yet, I'm trying to keep it together to make the correct next move without fucking this up. What do I do? Do I confront her when she gets home? Do I go to his house and confront him? Please help. Edit. Thank you all for your advice. I didn't tell her anything. I have locked myself up in my home office under the pretense of needing to catch up on work. She is not suspicious. I kept the iPad with me, she hasn't used in so long she won't even know it's missing. I took pictures of all their messages using my phone as a safety measure as well. They have been chatting for at last 8 months as far as I can tell. Telegram is their main communication channel, it seems. They've sent each other nudes, sex messages, and making plans on making their relationship official after leaving me and his wife. I can't believe she would do this to me. From the messages, I saw she had sent him a sexy suggestive photo of herself on her way to the gym earlier this evening, and when she got back home, she started kissing me, wanting sex. I declined, saying I needed to get work done. I am confused right now and unable to think clearly, so I will follow the advice I am offered here, lawyer, gather evidence. I will work on those. I also saw several comments advising me to separate my finances from hers. We co-own the apartment we live in, and have joint bank accounts. My parents died in a car crash 2 years ago and left me a large inheritance, which she knows about. She does not have access to the money in that fund. Is there anything I need to do to protect myself there if it comes to that point? We don't have kids yet. Edit 2. I work from home sometimes and didn't have any meetings this morning, so I spent it researching and calling lawyers. I have 2 consultations lined up for tomorrow, but the majority couldn't book me in until next week. I will tell his wife and show her proof as soon as I settle on a lawyer and get myself covered first. Once she's been informed, I will give her time to get her affairs in order and secure a lawyer if that's what she wants to do before I decide what to do next, such as confronting my wife. I don't understand how I'm feeling. I am not angry for some reason. More numb maybe. Sick and nauseous when I think of the messages I've read, especially the sex messages. I just feel like I am just doing the things that I need to be doing right now, but it's almost like I am living somebody else's life. I don't know how long I can keep up the poker face without her noticing something is up. Thanks for your messages and support. Edit 3. Guys, I am humbled by all the messages and advice I received. Not much has happened since yesterday. Just keeping myself busy with work and the gym. The anniversary of my parents' passing is coming up in about a month and she obviously knows this, so when she asked why I seemed off, I just told her I was thinking about them. I have consultations with several lawyers lined up, most next week, a few this afternoon. I will update after I settle on a lawyer and know what my options are. Edit 4. I found a hell of a lawyer who managed to draft my divorce papers within days, which were filed this morning. I am in a no-fault jurisdiction, which meant all the evidence of the infidelity which I had gathered can't be used in court. The good news is that my inheritance is safe because I didn't use the money for marital expenses. Our condo was a wedding gift, bought by both our parents. Each side contributed 50% to the down payment, so one of us will have to buy the other out or we both sell it. I called the OBS on Saturday and asked to meet her for coffee. I chose that day because, ironically, her husband and my wife had gone on an overnight trip together. I found out from their messages on the iPad. The lies they were going with were, my wife was staying at her sister's for the weekend to help with the kids while her sister's husband was away on a business trip and her husband was going away for a work-related project. The truth was, my wife and my husband were taking a trip out of town together and were staying at a hotel, all paid for by the Casanova himself. I showed her their messages on the Telegram app, pictures included, all of it. She told me she noticed him feeling distant and withdrawn a few months ago. She thought it was just work stress and had no reason to suspect he was cheating. Finding out that her husband was in fact cheating, and with my wife, who is also her friend, came as a blow to her. We chatted some more and I gave her my lawyer's number as she considers her options. Sunday night, my wife returned from her sister's house. She walked through the door and greeted me with kisses, saying she missed me. After she had spent the weekend with her lover. Her ability to compartmentalize is almost diabolical. I sat her down and told her we needed to talk. I had the whole conversation recorded without her knowledge. Following lawyer's advice, I live in a one-party consent state. Here's how it went. I asked her to promise to be honest with me, of course, baby, but she was nervous. Then I asked her a series of questions. Do you love me? Yes. Are you happy with me? Yes, of course, baby. Have I been a good husband to you? Do I treat you right? Yes and yes. WTH is going on? Please humor me, okay? Have I ever done anything to hurt you, whether physically or emotionally? No, of course not. WTF, okay. So, if you're happy with me, then why are you cheating on me? She stared at me in shock for a good minute and then immediately started denying it. This went on for a little while and then I just told her to drop the act because I found out the truth. Eventually, she broke down and admitted to kissing a guy who had been hitting on her at a bar during a night out with her girlfriend a few months ago. I don't know why, but at this point I started laughing because the whole thing was just absurd. She not only cheated on me, she had taken every opportunity she could find to cheat on me. I asked her if that was the only time she cheated. She swore up and down that it was the only time and that it was a moment of weakness, that she was drunk, and it had meant nothing. I said nothing. I gave her my lawyer's business card and said I filed for divorce. I hadn't yet. I wanted to talk to her just once first to see if there was anything left of our marriage to salvage, and that if she wanted to reach me she should call my lawyer. She cried, begged, apologized, and then when I started packing a suitcase, she shifted to gaslighting me, saying I was throwing away everything we had over a mistake. And the worst part of what she said was I had no one else in the world. Why would I leave the only family I had left? This stung because I told her she was my only remaining family after my parents died and there was no one else I could depend on. Only for her to throw those very words back in my face. I left that night to a hotel where I am staying until I find a new apartment. Yesterday, I officially filed for divorce. Update 4. I am just looking to let out some of my anger and frustrations. I hope that's okay. I posted once here before and found it to be a very supportive community. 2 weeks ago, I found out my wife had been cheating on me with my friend. The way I found out was completely by accident. I happened to be in the right place, at the right time, looking in their general direction. Eventually, when I confronted her, I found out that she had also kissed a random guy she met at a bar. At this point, God knows what else she's done. There's been so much denial, so much gaslighting, I just can't fathom how someone who says they love you can do that. My parents died a few years ago and I was an only child, so she was the only family I had left. It was very traumatic for me and I told her that after their death, and I leaned heavily on her. As I was leaving the house, she threw those words right back in my face reminding me that I had no family left but her. I am so angry that she would twist my own words against me. And just so fucking hurt. Mostly because it's true. And the friend she cheated with? He was one of my groomsmen at our wedding and he was there at my parents' funeral. I am just sitting here thinking about all the times I was loving her and thinking she was living me too. How stupid must she think I am? I mean, I must be a little stupid to have taken me this long to figure out she is cheating on me. Update 5. Some updates from the last time I posted. My wife was served the divorce papers last week. I am still at the hotel and close to finding a new apartment. Last week when I left I forgot to take iPad with me. I picked it up when I went back a couple days later to grab clothes and other stuff. Apparently, my wife had a fallout with her friend who was with her at the bar, accusing her of being the one who told me about her kiss that hot guy. Her friend is no longer speaking with her it seems. After everything went down, OBS threw her husband out, and he's been staying at his sister's place. She and I have been talking, she found a lawyer and is filing for divorce. She has informed our few common friends about what's been going on and they've all cut off contact with them. Also, the a-hole came by my place and spent the night with my wife twice last week. She has also been messaging her sister, who, it turns out, knew about the affair. My wife found a lawyer apparently and was complaining to her sister that her lawyer explained the asset division and confirmed she has no claim on my inheritance and that she thought that was unfair. Now, here's the gut punch. All those conversations about finding an apartment together and becoming official have significantly cooled since my wife's visit to her lawyer, which I found odd. A few days ago I got a message from her asking if we could put a pause on the divorce proceedings. She said she loves me, thinks we're being crazy about this, and that everyone deserves a second chance. She even hit me with "I can't live without you" BS. If I didn't have the iPad, I might have thought she was genuinely remorseful. But knowing what she's been up to all week, I knew this only came after she realized she won't be entitled to a cent of my inheritance. Honestly, that fucking hurt. I am following my lawyer's advice, who told me not to respond. The more I think about it, the more disgusted I am by her, my friend and her sister. The fact that her change of heart seems to stem entirely from her discovery that she won't touch my inheritance is beyond disturbing. I always intended to use that money for a trust fund if we had kids, something I told her countless times. I didn't touch it because it reminded me of the trauma of losing my parents. The level of disrespect she has shown not only me, but also now my parents, who loved her and treated her like a daughter. I'm just glad they're not here to see this. I met up with the OBS over the weekend. She's my friend too, and she's been going through a rough time, especially with her mom's health issues on top of this whole mess. I told her about the messages. Long story short, she had been reconsidering the divorce after her husband tried to reconcile with her. But once I showed her the messages about my inheritance and pointed out how their messages have cooled, she saw things differently. She also shared something that struck me. Apparently, a few months after my parents passed, her husband had made a comment about how I was a lucky son of a witch for inheriting their money. She confronted him then, shocked he would call me lucky after losing them, and he backtracked, claiming he didn't mean it that way. At the time, she brushed it off, but now she is second-guessing his motives. It seems far-fetched, but it's starting to sound like she thought she would get her some after divorcing me and start a new life with him. Either way, their behavior is despicable. I have been trying to look after myself. I started therapy, I've been going to the gym almost obsessively, and trying to stay away from alcohol. I am trying so hard to put on a strong exterior. Some of my friends have said it's a little scary how cold I've been, but it's the only way I can go about my day-to-day without losing my mind. The nights are very rough, I struggle with sleep, I sometimes drink to help me through it, I'm not proud, and sometimes, I cry myself to sleep. Update 6. I am broken. 2 years ago today, I lost my parents in a car crash. It was then that I learned how fickle and unfair life can be. 1 minute, your loved ones are here, the next, they're gone. I clung to my only remaining family, my wife, for dear life. I leaned on my friends, especially my best friend, who supported me. What I never expected was to find myself here, on the second anniversary of their passing, counting the people I've lost. Today, I have 2 fewer parents, 1 fewer wife, and 1 fewer best friend. I've never felt more alone. I've never felt more broken. Update 7. I punched her AP. It was not planned, I've been trying to keep my cool, but he just had to see me and apologize. As I was leaving the office earlier today and walking over to my car, I saw him parked nearby. When I got closer, he got out and walked over to me asking to talk. I told him to get back in his car and drive away, that I had no interest in what he had to say. The fucking nerve on the guy. He just stood there, blocking my car, apologizing for what he'd done. He kept saying that it just happened and neither him nor my wife did it out of malicious intent, that it kind of just happened, that they didn't mean to hurt me, that he wished we could move past it and be civil. I told him to move, but he ignored me and kept talking. I snapped and grabbed him by the shirt and shoved him away and then I punched him. He tripped and fell. I know I hurt him, because his nose was bleeding. It took everything in me not to pummel him. Instead, I got in my car and drove home. It's been hours since this happened and I was reeling at first. It felt good to finally hurt him, and wanted to do more. But now, I feel like shit for losing control and a part of me is worried about potential consequences to this, like whether he'll press charges. But I couldn't help it. The anger had been building since Saturday night when I was out with friends at the bar we all used to go to together, STBXW and him too, and we ran into them there, together. They were clearly embarrassed to be seen together in public and couldn't get out of there quickly enough. And thankfully, my friends pulled me away before anything escalated. But I had already been really angry over this, so when he showed up in front of my workplace today, I lost it. Update 8. My STBXW is pregnant? My STBX wife told me she was pregnant. I was blindsided by this information as there were no messages about a pregnancy on the iPad. Her periods have always been irregular and she said she didn't pay attention to when she missed her period last month. She sent me a picture of her sonogram which she had done earlier this week indicating she was 7 weeks pregnant. She said she took a pregnancy test some time ago, not sure when, which came back positive but wanted to wait for the sonogram to find out how far along she was before she said anything. I haven't had sex with her since October 11th to be exact. She says she really feels that the baby is mine whatever that means and is hopeful that this will be our chance to start over together. She even told her family at Thanksgiving yesterday. She is not on good terms with her parents, so our contact has been minimal, but they, and her sister, have messaged to congratulate me today. I don't love this woman anymore and I don't want to be with her. I don't even know if this baby is mine as she's been fucking another guy for the past 10 months. She is supposed to be on birth control, we weren't trying for a baby. I was planning for a clear break from her and now, if this child is mine, I will be sucked right back in. But right now, I don't know if she is manipulating me to get back together with her, not sure why she wants that since she clearly wanted to be with her AP, or a new scheme to get financial support. I don't know. If it is mine, I will be there for my baby and make sure they have the best damn life possible and I am even considering stopping the divorce process and getting back together with her, not for her but for the sake of the baby. My kid deserves to have both parents in its life and I refuse to have her AP in my kid's life. I haven't told my lawyer about this yet and I will ask her for a DNA test to confirm that the baby is mine. I feel so lost. I am hoping everyone else's Thanksgiving was better than mine. Update 9. STBXW had a miscarriage. My STBXW messaged today to tell me that she had a miscarriage. Honestly, at this point I don't even know if her pregnancy was even real or if she was trying to bait me to get back together with her. She blamed me for the stress I caused when I requested paternity and for the stress her AP caused when he accused her of coming after me for my money. Basically, I found out from friends that she and her AP had a major fallout because she tried to distance herself from him and insisted the baby was mine, which resulted in him outing her, saying she only wanted to be with me, and baby to be mine, for my money. Because if I took her back, I'd have to pay for her medical bills, child support, and fund the lifestyle she had gotten used to. I never responded to her previous messages trying to bait me into accepting responsibility for the baby. She had been messaging me with updates on Our Baby, which she receives from a pregnancy app she is subscribed to. This sounds awful but a part of me believes she was never pregnant and had to drop the act when she realized how seriously I was going after the paternity test. Either way, the show is over. I was extremely worried about being tied to this woman for another 18 years. So, I am happy that I won't be but I am also surprisingly a little sad that I won't be having a kid. I hope one day, when the right person comes along, I'll get to experience fatherhood with her.